Cold season is over.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably cooked. They're not going to go completely defeated, though. Riley Leonard did have a good time with Notre Dame, right? Like, he got them into the championship game in 24. So, I mean, it's not like it's not like he's terrible, right? But he's a rookie, and he's going to have some pretty tough competition. So I imagine he probably gets like a win, maybe two. At the end of the day, though, yeah, the Colts are cooked.
So you said all that to say the Colts are cooked.
Yeah.
They are, man. I mean, they are.
It's because most people don't even know who their third string guy is.
And the thing, too, with Daniel Jones is, how is that going to affect his free agent market next year now? Because you were looking at a guy that was going to get a huge deal, and now he might not even be ready to play at all next year, depending on how long it takes him to come back. So now what? Now what do you do for Jones?
My Sprosmer.
Yeah, like Riley isn't terrible.
Sign a 1-year deal to stay with the Colts and just rehab with them all year, and then figure it out after that. Or I guess. I mean,
see, that's the thing is they probably won't do. Like, why would you do that if you were the Colts?
Yeah.
Like, why would you tie up cap space on a guy that's going to be unavailable? You tear your Achilles now, you miss all of next year regardless.
Yeah.
So you're not signing him to a deal. Like, I don't know why anyone would sign him right now, unless you're getting him for nothing, right?
Right. You might be able to. I mean, he got $14 million this year. You might be able to get him on like a 2-year deal, but you could backload it where, let's just say, 2-year, $30 million. You give him $5 million next year to rehab, and then pay him the $25 million on the back end of it. Because they've done that before with people who have torn their Achilles before, where they get like a 2-year deal, but they backload contract where they give them the cheaper part of that deal up front just to get him in the building to rehab to see how he's doing.
Yeah, there's no way you're doing that. There's no way you're doing that. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, he had one good season with the Giants where he had to have a prolific runner. He's had one decent season here with the Colts with a prolific runner. So unless you are going to have a guy that's in the conversation for setting a rushing record, why would you need Daniel Jones? Like, you can get plenty of guys that can throw the ball decently when your running game is dominating. I would bet Russell Wilson could probably still connect on a couple of throws if you had a league-leading rusher.
Well, you hit it right. A couple of throws. He ain't going to get him nowhere, but he'll give him a couple of throws.
Well, but it doesn't matter because if the rushing game is dominating, you don't have to be great at quarterback.
No, that's true. You don't.
So I don't know why any team would be doing that. Like that. That is literally just throwing money away on a cap space thing. And you feel bad for Daniel Jones. He's having a great year.
Right.
But we've seen the blueprint of how he has to have a great year.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you think your running back is going to miraculously not only be healthy all year, which is a tall feat on its own, but they just have
Well, that's no different than any other game manager, though. I mean, he's a game manager. No, we all agree that Daniel Jones is a game managing quarterback. He can facilitate an offense that can be great, but he can facilitate. But all facilitators need weapons. Yeah, and you're right.
Like every quarterback needs weapons. There's
of course, but we're saying do it at
there's three guys in the league that can play hero ball.
Right.
Like everybody else is a game manager of sorts. So I mean, it's not like that's a negative.
But let's not act like every person doesn't need a good running back to facilitate an offense either. Then if we're going to play that game, because you have to.
Yeah. Well, again, like there's 3 or 4 elite guys, and then everybody else needs a team.
Right. So exactly, I agree.
It's just Daniel Jones needs an elite running game. From what we've seen from him.
Just have Jonathan Taylor be quarterback.
There you go. Do it all.
Get the ball handed off to him anyways. Why not just get the ball hiked to him?
Right? Wildcat.
All of a sudden, he's Josh Allen, where he kind of
I mean, he's going to touch the ball 30 times a game anyways.
What's that?
He's going to touch the ball 30 times a game anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. No, I mean, you feel bad for Daniel Jones, but, a team might put a bookmark on him if he does like a league minimum thing.
Yeah.
Let's face it. The Colts were winning games against crappy teams. Once they started to play the better part of their schedule, they started to poop the bed.
Yeah.
So it has nothing, like the fact that he got hurt just means that I think that the quarterback that they have coming in, first off, that's probably one of the best case scenarios for that guy. You know what I mean? Because now he gets to actually play. He can prove himself.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a couple of cakewalks, that they could go. So,
well, that's why I say he probably does get a couple of wins.
Yeah, and they're going to make that into the playoffs, and he's going to get playoff experience. Who knows? This guy might be the next Brock Purdy.
I mean, Riley Leonard played good in college. Like
he played good at Duke, not necessarily Notre Dame, because Notre Dame he was very similar to JJ McCarthy. He never threw.
Yes.
He ran pretty much the whole time at Notre Dame. I think he only threw 300 some passes the whole year, not even 200 passes maybe the whole year at Notre Dame. He didn't throw the ball that much at all.
No, well, and they didn't need him to. So yeah, but I mean, he played well within the system. Obviously he had a couple of good years at Duke. So nice.
He's a good serviceable backup, but he's not going to. They need a starter. Like they need a legit starter.
Is you don't really know, right? Like you don't know what he's going to be. So this is going to be a good proving ground. Like what can he be?
And then,
if there's a good proving ground, it's definitely this, because you got a good offensive line, you got good receivers, you got a good running back. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're gonna succeed, it's here, or I should say there.
And then, if you think about that, as they go into the playoffs, figuring that New England's going to lose one game and that Denver could actually win it out, if that was to happen, they play New England like a 7 seed against a 2 seed. And that's a winnable game because New England is nothing special.
Yeah.
Right.
So realistically, this guy could wind up walking into like the best case scenario of his life.
Right.
Yeah. So Scott, they do have a tough schedule for sure. But I bet they win at least one of those.
I could see him winning even
the rest of the team fell apart because Daniel Jones got hurt.
I could see the Colts winning those last 2 games because if you look at that, Jacksonville and Houston, Jacksonville could maybe have the division sealed up by week 17.
What's up, Sam?
Which means Jacksonville might be playing all their starters in week 17. And depending on Houston's situation, they could have a playoff spot locked up by week 18. You have the same scenario. They might not be playing all their starters in week 18. I don't see them beating Seattle or San Francisco before that, though.
Well, no. I mean, obviously, both those teams need those wins.
Yeah.
But, yeah, again, I think they end up stealing a win or two. It might just be one. But I think he gets one win with the team that's around him.
Yeah, the thing with Jacksonville and Houston play each other week 17, I believe. And if week 16. Jacksonville and Houston play each other in week 16, where if Jacksonville wins that game, they have a 2-game lead with 2 games left and they clinch. That's why it could come down to that game where if Jacksonville wins, Jacksonville has the division wrapped up by week 17, and that makes that game easier for the Colts at that point.
Yeah, your Titans got the W there. That was I
do gotta say though, as bad as the Daniel Jones injury is, you gotta wonder if Zach Ertz's career is over.
So Zach Ertz's career is over.
After that yesterday.
And then he collided.
I mean, when you look at this,
that's a dangerous hit. Jay Ward going low.
There's no scenario based on where he's at in his career that he comes back from this. Like you can't have your leg bend backwards like this. And at his age where he was already in question for retirement anyway, there's no way he's going to rehab and be back in 2 years, right? Like that's not going to be a thing. Rough way for him to end his career, but yeah, that I would bet money that's the last time.
And again, that's a little bit of a cheap hit.
It was
cheap shot hit.
It was.
I mean, not for nothing. I mean that they should have went after that guy a little bit.
Well, he didn't
targeted him a little.
He didn't play after that. Brian Flores took him out. Like Brian Flores was not happy. Like Brian Flores.
Because that was a dirty hit. It really was.
Brian Flores tore him a new one on the sidelines. I think he came out for maybe one special teams play after that, but he was not on the field for another defensive snap after that. Like, Brian Flores was pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too, because that's not the way you want to play the game. Even in somebody's career, that's not a good thing. I don't care.
I mean, it was almost like he targeted his knees and said, head down, not paying attention. It was just overall a bad, dirty hit. I watched it a couple times. I was like, ooh, obviously you don't want to see is a leg go that direction. You know what I mean? That's not right. That's not a fun way to do that. But after all I saw was that like he didn't pay attention and looked like it was a straight out dirty hit.
Yeah, and like the comment above where about talking about like if Viking fans talking about Kirby Joseph being a dirty player, the guy that hit Zach Ertz is like a third string linebacker. Like he doesn't play a lot as it is except on special teams, and he's typically not a dirty player because most of the tackles he makes are special teams tackles. Like he's a good tackler. He's just not a guy that you typically see in pass coverage. So he's one of those guys where if a guy is midair coming at him, it's like, oh, I'm used to hitting a guy like this on special teams. Now I got to figure out what to do when the guy's in midair coming towards me.
Yeah,
I think he's in his second year this year, and he was a practice squad player last year, so he didn't even get much time as a rookie last year.
I mean, you don't really have to figure it out. The dude's floating in the air. You don't have to unload on his knee. Like you could literally just stick an arm out. And he's going down. I mean,
I get it. No, I'm not sticking up for him either because it was a dirty hit. That's why Brian Flores took him out. It's like, dude, like the guy. It's the same thing as if you have a defenseless player and you hit him up at the head. Like you need to figure out how to not make contact at all.
Right. So
God, that's terrible.
Why was there any other injuries that happened yesterday?
No, those were the two notable ones. Of course,
didn't Jayden Daniels go down as well?
Yes, Jayden Daniels might be done for the year. Jayden Daniels might be done for the year also.
Yeah. He is done for the year. I mean, he landed on the hurt elbow, re-injured the thing. Then they proceed to get absolutely smoked in that game. So, I mean, he's done. That was another notable one, but, Washington was on the wrong side of things already.
But it just seems, James had a pretty rough couple of years injury-wise.
Yeah, he wasn't hurt at all as a rookie.
I meant this year. I apologize. This is like the second time I think he's gone down.
This was the biggest knock on Jayden Daniels when he came out of college. Was his durability because of his frame. He's 6'2", but he weighs like 195 pounds. Like he's a very scrawny quarterback. Like this is the biggest knock that Jayden Daniels had against him when he came out was will he be able to take the consistent punishment in the NFL? And you look at last year. His offensive line played actually really good last year, which is why Jayden Daniels was healthy. The offensive line in Washington this year has been terrible, which is why Jayden Daniels has been getting crushed. So now it's like we have to invest even more money in the offensive line because Daniels can't take the hits that somebody.
But he took on two different injuries. Wasn't his shoulder messed up and also his arm?
He sprained his knee the second game of the season trying to avoid a sack and just slipped, which it is what it is. You're going to have those kind of injuries.
Yeah.
But the dislocated elbow was because his offensive line was getting him crushed, and eventually he just took the throwing arm off a helmet and his elbow popped out, which is how you dislocated it.
Yeah. Well, and then,
how about Travis Kelce? Was he hurt? Or how about Nick Chubb? Because both of them sucked on my fantasy team.
Travis Kelce last night was terrible. Travis Kelce was terrible.
Catch.
You weren't putting your hopes on Nick Chubb and them little goal line.
Hey, listen, I didn't have anybody else. I was stuck.
Man, that is being stuck. I mean, that's stuck.
There was another injury that actually didn't happen yesterday that's going to have maybe a significant impact too, and that's Rome Odunze. Because Rome Odunze was ruled out ahead of the Packer game yesterday, and now it's been revealed that he has a stress fracture in his foot. That's not a 1 week injury where you're going to be out. Like that is a multi-week injury. And when the Bears have another game with the Lions, another game with the Packers, and the game with the 49ers coming up, that Rome Odunze injury is really going to affect that team's passing game, even though they haven't had a great passing game to begin with. But you saw it yesterday, like a lot of the plays where Caleb Williams would look to Rome Odunze, he wasn't there. He had to go somewhere else, and it didn't work in his favor too much.
I just gotta tell you, man, Bo, I'm so thankful for your Seattle defense. They have been crushing it for me, and they got 30 points last week, and they got like 17 points this week. I mean, just crushing it for me, man.
Yeah, another Achilles.
That's the other one, Brian.
Yeah,
it's funny if Seattle could just get their offense to be consistent. It'd be an incredibly scary team because the special teams play is best in the league, and the defense has been playing amazingly. But the offense just cannot play consistent football at all. Now, I can blame a bunch of that on our right guard because, he's awesome. But at the same time, they actually schemed some stuff for him where they basically gave him help on every single play. So he wasn't this giant hole in the offensive line that you're used to seeing because everyone that he's supposed to be guarding also had the center helping him out. So
yeah.
So what do you guys think the biggest reason for all the Achilles injuries is now? Like it used to be torn ACLs was like the thing that everyone was getting, and now it's like Achilles with an occasional torn ACL. No, it's gone completely the other way.
An Achilles is a strength and conditioning injury. Like that is a flexibility thing where you just don't have the flexibility in your calf. And when you go to a game, you don't see them do warm-ups like they used to. You used to see tons of stretching and conditioning before a game.
I'll say stretching is got to be the biggest thing there.
Well, yeah, and you don't see any of it. You can't even blame surfaces because they're not.
I'm blaming the shoe wear. Actually, I'm blaming more of the shoe wear that they have made these shoes a lot more flexible.
Yep.
And instead of having them a little bit more rigid, they're not protecting.
Yeah.
They think that they are doing more with the protection. And I'm beginning to think that it really has a lot more to do with the footwear now.
Yeah, it does.
It's probably a combination of both the footwear and the lack of stretching or not stretching well enough.
Yeah,
I think why I blame that is because when you used to go to a game, you would see them out there stretching for
hours,
35, 40 minutes for sure. Right. And then they do their walkthrough and then there would be a little bit more of it before they come out for real. Right.
Yeah.
Now you see them do some walkthrough. They don't stretch at all. And then they come out to do it live. And it's just like, well, yeah, like that is not ideal. I mean, that would be like, okay, we kind of jogged around the block and now, okay, let's go run a sprint. It's like, yeah, that's not really going to get you ready for that.
I think the playing surface argument led to more of the torn ACLs as opposed to the Achilles.
Yes.
I think the Achilles is more the stretching, the shoe wear, and a lot of the other stuff that you saw athletes doing 10 years ago, even before games, 5 years ago for that matter, that they're not doing anymore.
Yeah, no, like the field turf, artificial turf, absolutely is rough on ACLs.
Which is kind of funny because you've had less ACL injuries this year than I think they said the 7 years ago was like the fewest torn ACLs there's ever been. This year's then the second fewest torn ACLs they've ever been, and more fields have gone with turf. So that goes to show that the playing surfaces really don't have any bearing on the torn Achilles because now it's the ACLs that are less and less frequent.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, the turf definitely had a big impact on ACLs because of the amount of grip that you had twisting. Like they happened all the time. But yeah, for the Achilles, less so. Yeah, not really high tops. A lot of guys don't really wear high top. Almost everybody has low top.
What about Sam? I haven't seen any of them wearing high tops. Always the low top shoes.
I think offensive line are the only ones that wear high tops that I can think of just because of the amount of pressure they're putting on their lower body when they're coming out of their stance. I think offensive and defensive line are really the only ones that wear the high tops.
That actually makes sense because, I mean, not necessarily from a pressure standpoint, but because you get cleated a lot.
Support, yeah.
And you'd end up having somebody rip your shoe off. So a high top there kind of makes some sense. I always wore a low top, but then I taped them also.
Obviously, kickers and punters have to wear a low top just because of the toe. But
yeah, well, they also don't play. So
no, I know, but like you have like the mid top shoes, the low top.
Well, my kicker, my placeholder comes out there. My placeholder.
I mean, They used to play with one shoe.
Or you're just Brandon Aubrey and you play with two different shoes. He's
Oh,
got the
man.
soccer cleat that he kicks with, and he's got like a regular like mid-top cleat that he uses as his plant foot. So he actually wears like a soccer shoe to kick, and then his plant foot is like a mid-tier cleat.
Hey, whatever it takes for that man to get that ball through that age.
I knew someone would jump in the comments with that. No, the two different cleats, like if I was a kicker, I would probably go that route also.
Yeah.
Because I want one cleat that's actually going to grip, and then I want one that's like the small nub turf cleat to make sure that I don't look like Koo out there where
man.
around.
So my question on that one is, how did that man not blow out his knee or his Achilles by hitting the ground as hard as he hit that?
Because his front foot did slide a little bit.
Okay.
So he was already off balance. So when that thing dug into the ground, he just kind of stumbled along. It was funny that he blamed it on the ball moving. I guess he also forgot that cameras exist, because you could see the ball, although initially did move a little bit, he was still in his approach. So that wasn't really an issue. But that front foot looked like it did move a little bit. And then, he buries his right foot into the ground.
Yeah. And, he's always been a really good – when he was with Atlanta, he was always a very dependable kicker. I mean, I guess everybody has a one-off moment, but –
well, no, he had a bad
he's been playing with the cheerleaders a little too much.
He had a bad year last year. Is why he wasn't still there. So,
yeah, the playing surface amendment is not going to take into effect until 2028. But they don't have to go to natural grass. They can still keep the synthetic turf. They just got to have some specificities with it that keep it within like a certain range and whatnot.
Yeah, the thing that is a little bit interesting about that is some of it's going to work itself out anyway, because a bunch of these stadiums have to change to grass for the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's been talk that once they have to make that switch anyway, they're just going to leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would make sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they're not going to have like all these domes. They're not going to just take their turf out for grass. And you have all these stadiums right now that they're not going to just take their turf out for grass if they don't have to. They're just going to re-look at the turf and get whatever turf is required for them to have.
Well, no. So a bunch of those are going to have World Cup games. And so they're going to have to put grass in anyway. So then there's talk that they'll have the field surface that can get rolled outside.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That would be the most practical thing to do, is to have the field surface that can roll outside.
I mean, they already have a field that they have shown that works.
Arizona,
Same thing with Vegas too, right?
Arizona and Vegas are the two that roll out,
Exactly. So
I want to know how they're going to roll out anything in MetLife, but
you don't have to.
They don't even need to. Yeah, I guess
they don't have to either.
Create all the drainage and stuff like that. I don't know why they haven't made that, anyways.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. So it's I mean, MetLife just kind of sucks. So.
Right.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but speaking of other goofy stuff, so Shedeur fans are in love with the fact that his stat line looked good despite a loss. They're just overlooking the fact that it was the Titans. Sorry, Sam, if you're still watching, but you may have got a win, but your team still is terrible. So, but Shedeur fans are losing their mind. They're like, oh, he's the greatest ever. Look at his stat line. It's like, calm down. His two good performances are against two teams that are competing for the number 1 overall pick. So let's realize that he did not look great against the Niners. We're going to see what he looks like this coming week against the Bears. But Stefanski, weirdly, needed a 2-point conversion, closing seconds, tie this thing up, and decides to not have Shedeur on the field at all. And so this was his response to it. Dude's getting fired.
What's supposed to happen on that last 2-point conversion?
Yeah, not going to get into all the specifics, Jeff, but obviously did not go as we thought it would.
Did you make that call or did Tommy?
Yeah, I make every call. I make every
call. Well, that's the thing, because you probably called your own number to get a different job. It was such a terrible play. The good thing is they can leave it in the playbook because nobody knows what that was supposed to look like. And
they want to try it again next week. They can. Maybe it'll work.
No one would even know.
Man, he walked by old dude like, I think I'm supposed to pass it to you, but I'm not 100% sure. The dude's like, well, it's your ball now. Make peace with it.
It looked like it was supposed to be a pitch play, but then his guy wasn't there. And so, it's that play was a disaster. It literally looked like a bunch of people went to the park, decided to play football. You pick teams not knowing anybody, and no one has a clue what's going on, and you just go out there and try and play. And so at least they're professionals, but
that's like elementary school flag football where everyone wants to play quarterback, but nobody can throw, and then it's like, oh, shoot, now I have the ball.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then all your receivers just all run go routes, and you're like, first off, this guy can't throw, and everybody's 45 yards down the field. So it was.
Can somebody just give me a hook play or a comeback play?
Can someone stay home?
Well, if you watch the replay close, it was a hook play to himself because he bobbled the ball so much, it ended up being like a hook play to himself.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, and then the guy he was throwing it to was triple covered. Like there was no scenario this thing was going to work.
Unless there was a pass interference in the end zone. That's going on.
So
I just love it. I just love it. It's legendary. This is all legendary stuff we're watching.
That had nothing to do with Shedeur. He wasn't even on the field.
I know, but it's all.
I mean, you can blame it on him if you got like that hater in you, but yeah, no, I mean it was.
Did he tap out? He tapped out, right? That's why he was on the field.
It was the weirdest play. It was the weirdest play. Yeah, the Titans chose to try and play.
Hook and ladder.
It was so weird, but it was funny because people are like, "Oh my God, Shedeur was so good because he threw for 300 yards, had a few touchdowns and a pick." I mean, the stat line looked good.
Mm-hmm.
If you just gloss over the fact that PFF has the Titans as the 29th ranked defense in the league.
I mean, we're talking about the Titans, man. For the love of God.
So there's something wrong with you, Jay.
It's the Titans. I mean, they definitely get the number one pick. I feel bad for Cam Ward.
Now they have 2 wins. If they win,
I guess they kind of screwed that up.
I think the bottom of the league is 2 wins now.
Pollard actually did pretty good.
That's what I say. With that win, they still have the number 1 pick.
And if they win one more game, the Giants only have 2 wins, and the Giants slide in front of them. And
so do the Raiders.
I think even the Commanders would have the same record as the Titans, but I think due to like tiebreakers, I think the Commanders would fall behind the Titans with one more win.
Yeah, no, there's actually kind of a group for the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Cardinals, Jets, Browns, Saints, Commanders have 3 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And the Raiders, Giants, and Titans have 2 wins.
And realistically, Jay, do you honestly think the Titans are going to pick number 1? Because a lot of those teams behind the Titans are going to want a quarterback. They could just make that trade with the Titans and be like, here, we'll take the number 1 pick for our number 3 pick and a second-round pick and something else.
Like, they probably should try to get most amount of picks possible because they have a lot of needs on that team. So, yeah, you're right.
That's why I don't think the Titans pick number 1 anyways. I think the Titans trade out of that pick with like a Raiders team who needs a quarterback, or the Saints if the Saints like Fernando Mendoza and they want to bring him in as the quarterback over who they have. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans trade out of it anyways.
What they should
I love the fact that the Bengals are 4-9 and can still make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that division's terrible. Yeah.
The power of Joe Burrow.
I mean, the odds are low now, but
I mean,
they'd have to be 8-9.
I mean, the Ravens just look terrible. So do the Steelers. I mean,
the Ravens might have been the game that got Harbaugh fired.
Probably.
Well, that is kind of I hadn't made a graphic for that because I was going to talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, there's definitely some coaches that are on the hot seat that are a little bit different than we were thinking at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and then one of the coaches that we thought was going to get fired was the Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel. But all of a sudden now the Dolphins are winning football games. So now it's like, where the heck? And what is the common denominator on this? Which is I don't want to laugh about it.
They keep playing the Jets. I feel like they played the Jets the last 4 weeks in a row.
No, but since I don't think the Dolphins have lost a game, or if they have, it's only one game since Tyreek Hill got hurt. And now all of a sudden you have a question.
Hold on. Let's go. So they did beat the Bills.
Yep.
Yes.
Then they beat the Commanders, who are the Jets. They beat the Saints, who are the Jets. Then they beat the Jets, who are the Jets.
Yeah. No. Like some of the people that are on Miami, it's like, okay, calm down. Like they haven't played anybody yet. Like, but they're on this streak. It's
that's how I say in New England. I mean, they played a couple of good teams in there, but New England hasn't exactly had the hardest damn schedule either.
Well, no, and that's why they weren't at the top of my power rankings.
Oh, for sure.
Because strength of schedule, right? Like they were playing a bunch of nobodies, and then you started seeing them play decent teams, right? Because they have a couple of decent teams on their schedule, and they still look good.
Called the Bills.
Yeah. Well.
Hey, Scott, I'm not bitter, man. We beat the Eagles. I'm feeling good. That was my Super Bowl. I'm not bitter. I'm happy. I'm euphoric, to be honest.
But I mean, you look at the Dolphins right now, though. The Dolphins are 6-7. Okay.
Yeah.
They have the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Buccaneers their next 3 games, and theoretically, they could win all 3 of those games. When you look at how bad the Buccaneers are playing, when you look at how the Dolphins could still end up with 9 wins at 9-8 to make the playoffs. And
That's
they were
crazy.
1-6, 1-17 to start the year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that happens.
They get the Patriots in Week 18. How many players of the Patriots are going to be playing Week 18 when that game is? Like the Dolphins can go realistically.
They're gonna be still going for the number 1 seed. So I would.
Yeah, they are. But realistically, though, even if the Dolphins
still be playing.
Even if the Dolphins go 2-2, that's an 8-9 team that can get that 7th seed in the AFC after being 1-6 at one point.
Yeah, and Alec, I don't think they move on from Lamar. They may move on from their coach, but
But is Lamar still looks like he's hurt? Like he's not 100%.
He's not 100%.
He is.
He's not 100%.
Yeah, because he definitely looks like he's struggling out there, physically struggling.
And since we're talking about Miami, I want to give the Crybaby Award to Notre Dame. Notre Dame, not that. Trust me. I hate Notre Dame. You guys suck. I'm glad that you guys are kicked out of the playoffs, and then they're going to take their ball and go home. We're not going to play in a bowl game since we can't compete for the national championship. You guys would have got your ass kicked in week 1 of the playoffs. I'm glad that you're not even in it. Stop crying, you little pansy bitches.
They have
a real conference.
They do have an agreement put in place that starts next year where if they finish in the top 12 at any point next season, they're automatically in the playoffs. They have an agreement that's in place with the college football committee. How
does that even happen? Like, how does it happen that, hey, I'm going to be in? I don't care if I suck or not. You're going to put – how does that even happen? I don't get it.
That can't really be the case. That cannot be the case. You can't.
I did send it to both.
12. If you're top 12, you don't suck.
Yeah, I sent it. I did. I sent the agreement to Pegs in the group chat. Like there was an agreement that Notre Dame reached with the college football committee in the spring of last year that says if they finish in the top 12 at any point starting in 2026, they're guaranteed to be in the college football playoff.
And that's what I meant. Oh, but that's what I meant. Not that I'm not talking about where they are now. I'm saying like in the future. If they have a terrible season, you can't tell me that they're still going to be.
No, it's if they have to finish in the top 12. They have to finish in the top 12 at any point in 2026 and beyond, and they're guaranteed to be in the college football playoff.
So if in week 2 I'm in the top 12, but week 3 or 4 I'm not, I can still get in?
Nobody can say in week 1 that they are a top 18.
What was that?
Week 1, a top 18, and that means they're in the playoffs.
No, they have to be 12th or higher when the season ends. They have to be ranked 12th or higher when the season ends, and they're guaranteed to get in.
Okay.
And you look at Notre Dame this year. Their 2 losses for Notre Dame this year were to Miami and Texas A&M. Both teams are in the college football playoff.
The problem with the college football playoff, even though it's 12 teams, is it's still subject to voting.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So there's going to be situations where you have an Alabama team that absolutely doesn't deserve to be there, and you have a Notre Dame team that should be there that isn't. And it's because of voting. Now, if you were to add 2 more or 4 more teams to the playoff and just do it off a record, get the voting out of the thing.
Yeah, like Notre Dame, based on who they lost to, should have made the field this year. Even if they were the number 12 seed, they should have gotten in because the 2 losses they had were the first 2 games of the year to a team that's ranked 7th and a team that is ranked 9th, both in the college football playoff.
So the thing, I guess the biggest thing is if they really wanted to fix this in the easiest way possible, they would just tell Notre Dame, look, you're never going to get in unless you're in a conference.
Yeah, which I think is coming. I think it's coming.
Stop being, all by yourself out here.
Mm-hmm.
Join a conference.
I think that's coming in 2028. Realistically,
Because UConn and Notre Dame are the only 2 that aren't in a conference, correct?
Navy and
there's a few out there, but
I think it's 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, the thing is the way this is set up is for, conferences to put them out there. So if you're out there being the Lone Ranger, that's on you. If you miss it because of the way the landscape is, also on you, because it's not like anybody's not wanting you in their conference. They're just about every conference would welcome Notre Dame in.
I think they're going to end up going to the ACC in 2028 because that is the conference they're in for everything else. Hockey is the only exception. They're in the Big Ten for hockey, but everything else they're in the ACC for. I think that's coming in 2028.
No, exactly. And Jamie, even though the ACC isn't amazing, it's a conference. So, when you're looking at a situation where conference champions get in, then that should be easy for Notre Dame, right?
And that's what will happen because they'll go into if they could get into the Mountain West, they'd go in there because, of course, the play out there is less, so that they wouldn't have to go up against anybody who have any strength. Their strength of schedule, they still want it to be around 60th in all of college football because they want to still be able to win these games. They still want to be able to play Sister Mary of the Blind, Sister Mary of the Poor.
Well, I mean, really, if you look at the schedule this year, though, half of Notre Dame's schedule was ACC opponents, anyways.
Yeah.
So they played a pretty much half ACC schedule. I think they played 2 or 3 Big Ten teams, and then the rest were whoever they scheduled. But they played Miami. Miami's the ACC. They played Texas A&M, who's in the SEC. They played Stanford, Pittsburgh, SMU, I believe. Those are all ACC teams. Boise State was a Mountain West team, but the best Mountain West team out there they played. So it's not like their schedule was crappy. They still played a primarily ACC schedule. They just didn't get the likes of Clemson. They didn't get the entire top flight of the ACC. It was just who got put on their schedule.
Right. Anybody who finishes in the top half of the ACC, they don't play against. I hate Clemson, but I like Clemson against Notre Dame. I'd be rooting for Clemson that way.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, the one time that Notre Dame actually played in the ACC was that COVID year because they didn't have a choice based on the scheduling that was going to come out. And what happened? They ran the table in the ACC that year. They've shown that if you put them in the ACC, they're going to compete with everybody in that conference.
Yeah.
It's just that their schedule is locked for 2026 and it's locked for 2027 that they can't just pull out of 24 games because the contracts have already been signed. That's why I think 2028 is the year they make that jump because right now in 2028, the only 4 games that they have on their schedule are against ACC opponents.
Yeah,
why not do that?
If they want to change conferences, it would be easy enough for them to get around that because they're going to have to pay money anyway.
Yeah.
Rob, to explain this is the AP poll is still the deciding factor, right? So there's more schools that they put in, but it still comes down to the way that the writers vote. And so although it's expanded, you're still going to end up with situations like this where they think TV ratings for Alabama being in are going to be better. So they're going to find a way to get them in despite being a 3-loss team ahead of a Notre Dame who's not part of conference. And so, at the end of the day, there's more schools, still a popularity contest. So that is D1 football. That is how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And
I mean,
Joe,
Iowa State, I can understand boycotting the bowl games because they just lost their head coach. So now you're like,
I don't like it. And here's my argument for it, right? Is the kids had no say in that. So you go and you play that last game and you're like, cool, we're bowl eligible. We're going to go, we got one more. So all of those kids, their parents, like everybody associated with the team doesn't get a play in what they think should have been their last game. They just already played their last game and had no idea. Yeah. So I'm not a fan of that. Like go play your game, right? Yeah, you didn't get what you wanted. Well, you know what? You're an adult. Don't act like a toddler and be like, oh, I don't get to play in the championship. I'm not going to play anything. It's like, no, let these kids play their final, especially if they're seniors.
Right.
Their final football game ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the Kansas State and Iowa State situation are different because Notre Dame actually had the players vote if they wanted to play, and the players actually voted they did not want to play. Versus Kansas State and Iowa State kind of made the decision for the players. At least they let the Notre Dame players and coaching staff kind of vote if they wanted to play beyond what they played, and it was a majority vote. The players and coaches at Notre Dame said, no, we feel cheated. We're not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess cool, whatever.
That does sound like a lot of wah.
I mean, I look at it this way. You get snubbed for it. You go into that bowl game and you destroy that opponent.
Oh,
you be like, look, you guys messed up. And I mean, that's the way I look at it. The two schools that you're talking about that the schools did it, they're actually getting fined $500K a piece.
And Baylor, like the other comment that just came in too, Baylor and Kansas are kind of following suit with Kansas State and Iowa State, so they're going to get fined as well because it's not like a player decision. It's like the school's like, yeah, no, we just don't want to play.
So that was by the conference, though. That wasn't by the NCAA or CFP. So, but at the same time, $500K for these schools is a drop in the bucket anymore.
Right.
So now that Indiana beat Ohio, which I still think Ohio kind of beat themselves with that field goal kicker, shaking that one field goal and then that extra point.
Indiana freaking deserved it. Like all the shit people have talked about Indiana this year not being able to beat anybody. Indiana went into Oregon and blasted Oregon.
I understand, but if you look at that Ohio game, there were several instances that Ohio gave them that game though too. Let's be honest.
Because this is the first time that was the first time all year that Ohio State trailed in the second half.
Right.
Like Ohio State did not know what to do. If they showed a graphic during the game when Indiana took the lead, the three teams that trailed the fewest amount of minutes in the second half all season was Oregon at number 3. They trailed for 20 minutes and 26 seconds. All 20 minutes came against Indiana when Indiana beat them. Indiana trailed for 8 minutes and 14 seconds in the second half, 2 minutes against Ohio, or 3 minutes against Ohio State, and then the 5 minutes where Penn State took the lead late. Entering that game on Saturday, Ohio State trailed for 0 minutes and 0 seconds in the second half.
Yeah.
They now trailed for 20 minutes in the second half against Indiana. Like they had no idea what to do because that was the first time all year that they were trailing in the second half and actually had to face adversity for the first time all year. And Indiana beat them at their own game. They beat them with defense.
Well, but that's the same, and they did because when they were down on the 1 yard line, it was 4th and goal, 1 yard, and John Day goes for it rather than going for the field goal, and of course it gets stopped right just before he goes in. Then the ball gets turned over at downs. So that was one opportunity they should have had 3 points on the board, and then the other opportunity, just shanked it like a 25 or 30-yard field goal, which is like a chip shot. So that's that's 6 points, though, that they really should have had.
I don't fault Ryan Day for going for the first one because he had the mindset that a field goal was not going to win that game. Like, I don't fault Ryan Day for going for that. It's 4th and 1 at the 3-yard line.
Right.
You
trust your offensive line to get you that 1 yard. I don't fault him for that. The missed field goal, that kick was terrible. That is a 25-yard field goal. That is pretty much an extra point at this point. You have to make that kick. But going for it on 4th down, I don't fault Ryan Day for that. And the thing that impressed me most with Indiana, they won without their second-best player. Their second-best player in Cooper got hurt on the first series of the game and did not come back, and Indiana still found a way to win that game.
Frankie bringing the hate first day back.
I'm gonna remain professional, not say nothing. But no. I mean, let me ask you this. So, I mean, I think right now Georgia to me looks like the best team right now. In the
No,
playoffs.
Indiana is.
You think Indiana looks better than Georgia?
I've been saying all year that Ohio State, top to bottom, was the best team in the country. They had the best defense all year. They've had a top 5 offense all year. Like, they were the best team in the country, top to bottom. They just lost to Indiana. Like, Indiana proved that they are the best team in the country. Regardless what
I just think the way that Georgia basically blew out Alabama, like Alabama wasn't even there. And then how basically, let's be honest though, by a couple of field goal kicks, Indiana gets in. I just don't feel confident with Indiana going up against a Georgia team. I've seen Georgia play. I know how ruthless that team can be. And Kirby Smart's a hell of a coach too. The guy's amazing.
But Alabama self-destructed in that first quarter where they had 2 turnovers that led to 14 points. You're going down 14-0 to Georgia 15 minutes into the game. Like, you're not outside of that. What was it? It was a 14-7 game outside of that first quarter. It was just that Alabama had one bad first quarter that put them behind by 2 scores, and at that point, it might as well be a 35-point deficit because that's hard to come back when you're down by 14 on Georgia.
Scott, absolutely not. Alabama shouldn't be in the playoff at all.
Yeah, Alabama should be out. Like I said, Notre Dame should be at number 12. I would have no argument if Notre Dame fell to 12. It's the fact that Notre Dame came into that game at 10. Alabama came into that game at 9. Alabama loses by 21 to Georgia, and not only does Notre Dame get bumped, but Alabama doesn't even drop at all. They stayed at 9. Like, Alabama didn't even fall to 12. They should have at least moved or something.
I agree with that one, but
they didn't even move. Like, Miami goes 12 to 10, and then Tulane gets 11, and James Madison gets 12. That's, I think, the biggest argument I have.
Just bring in every conference champion and then put everybody else in as a bye. So they got 24 teams in the playoffs. And
what you just said
gets in and done. End of story.
You just said
that is literally what I want to see. Like, let's get the voting out of it.
Yep.
Let records matter.
Yep.
Put your conference champion in.
Or why couldn't you do the 12, but do like the NBA and do a play-in for those last couple of spots after the 12 spot?
See, I'm not interested in that. I ain't interested in that.
Just do what the FCS
every
does.
Conference get a bye. So if you are Duke and you are 6-12 and win a conference, you get the 8th seed because you won a conference, just like they do in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're 7-12. Or 7-10, you get to host a game.
Just do what the FCS does. And there's I know a lot of people don't watch the FCS. I actually kind of pay attention to it just because there's a lot of teams close to where I live. The FCS does a 24-team playoff format.
Yeah.
Top 8 teams get the automatic bye that first round. 9 through 16 seed host that first week with the other 8 seeds playing, and then it just goes into a straight 16-team bracket. Just do what the FCS does. Give the top 8 seeds the first round bye, whether it's a conference champion or based on where you finish.
No, I want the conference champions to win. I don't want a vote.
Okay, well, even if you do that, then give the 8 conference champions that first round bye.
Make Ohio State now have to go through an extra game.
And make the next 8 seeds that are going to be ranked 9 through 16, give them the home game that first week, and then teams 17 through 24 play those next 8. Top 8 winners then move to the conference champion.
Because then it would be an actual playoff like every other version of football ever.
And your season is getting extended by 1 week. It's not going to kill you. Your season's going to get extended by 1 week.
Yeah, and it doesn't even matter because the NFL keeps extending theirs too. Yeah. So it really makes no difference. The NFL's going to go 1 more week later so that Monday's a holiday.
And I have a feeling that if they do.
And Jamie, the problem here is even though they're ultimately going to go to 16 teams, they're not getting rid of the voting aspect, so it's still going to be stupid.
I have a feeling that if they do go to 24 teams, though, I think the conference championship game will get thrown out, and they'll use the conference championship week as the
it decides the bye.
No, but you could just go based on your regular season conference standings. Like, whoever wins the regular seseason conference.
Yeah, but then you got a problem, and then it becomes a vote again because you got Indiana and Ohio State both got 12-0 going in. I mean, listen, they're going to be moving these games. They're going to be moving the NFL games to 18 games in a season.
Yep.
They got to start preparing these kids for more games. So they have to make this like these guys. the top 24 teams that are going to be getting in, if we do move it to the way I just suggested, are going to get drafted anyway.
It's just a matter of where they're going to be seated.
So these guys are going to have to play more football.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is make the conference championship matter, because now the way it currently sits is if you win the conference championship, awesome. If you lose it, it could knock you out, right? So some of those teams are like, well, I don't even want to play in the conference champion because I'm in the game, I'm in the playoff right now as it sits. And if I lose, somehow I'm going to be out of it. So make it so that game matters. So expand the thing, get rid of voting, let conference championships and records decide who it is. Yeah. Again, like every other version of football.
I am definitely not an Ohio State fan, Frankie. I have no horse in the race because my team sucks. But I've been one of the few people that have been backing Indiana as probably the second best or the best team in the country the last 2 years.
No, they've been impressive.
Yeah, like I've been backing Indiana, that Indiana deserves more respect. Just they were not getting the respect they deserve because of the schedule they played, which it is what it is. But the 3 times that they have played, they played 5 ranked teams this year. Illinois was number 9 when Indiana played them and blew them out 62-7. Then they got a week off, went to Oregon, who was number 5 in the country at that point, won at Oregon, followed that up by playing Iowa, who was number 16 at the time, in Indiana, and won that game, and then they just beat Ohio State. So granted, they might not have a lot of ranked teams on their schedule right now when you look at where the final standings were, but they were playing ranked teams throughout the year and took care of business when they had a ranked opponent. Like, they should have gotten more respect than they've been getting all year, and now I think they finally are starting to get some of it, and it still seems like they don't get the respect they deserve on it.
And does that show that Bobby C is a Browns fan? Real quick, is that Bobby? Oh, of course. That's why Bobby C wants something stupid like that.
I love Bobby, though. Bobby's awesome. And Donna, it hasn't been like pro ball, but it is getting more and more like pro ball all the time.
Yeah.
The one thing, before we get out of here, I really want to see them eliminate the ability for coaches to move before the season is over, right?
Yeah.
They need to fix the timing of this. They've already started fixing the timing of the transfer portal. They really need to eliminate this. Oh, we're headed into the playoffs, but hey, I'm going to switch teams now. I'm going to take half my staff with me. So
I hate lane shifting.
You see that in the NFL though too. I hate that too, where like the middle of the playoffs, you see an offensive coordinator take a head coaching job for an opening, and then the next week in the playoffs they crap the bed.
Bobby,
like, wow.
Just shut up. You aren't funny. You aren't funny, Bobby. And I don't have orange hair, right? It's a mohawk. Just because I look better than you and I'm smarter than you and my team is better than yours doesn't mean that you have to get all offensive. Nobody likes your soccer comments.
Man.
No, but like I think the NFL is the same way, though. Like I hate when like you have a team that's looking for a head coach.
Anything. It's all love.
Like Bo, like what you said about the college coaching, the NFL is the same way though. Like I hate when you have teams in the playoffs and you have like an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator interviewing for a job opening in the playoffs. All of a sudden they take that job and then the next week the team looks like crap. It's just like I get that you want the coordinator. Just wait till the playoffs are over before you hire the coordinator.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is, and the NFL does sort of do it, right? Like they allow some tampering, but you don't get to leave the team before the end of the year. That's the thing is I want to see these guys finish the obligation of whatever bowl game, playoffs, whatever. I want to see them actually fulfill the season and then do whatever. Just have that no tampering policy, just like the NFL, right? You're not allowed to talk to coordinators until their element is done, whether it's they lose in the playoffs or at the end of the season, whatever, right? If guys are still in the playoffs, they can kind of do some preliminary talks, but they can't leave the team, right? So if you have a team that is going to go to the playoff for the first time in their history, but you're just like, just kidding, I'm going to go coach at LSU. Like, that's not awesome, right?
But you know what, though, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, he actually was going to stay there and finish it out. But the athletic director at the school told him they didn't want him talking to the kids and I guess poaching them, right? So that's what they left?
It's not that, Jay. It's not that. It's he is already leaving and taking his staff with him.
That was the thing.
Right.
So you're going to have this playoff caliber team now just have like a random coaching to get in. You know what's not going to happen is win a lot of games in the playoffs.
Right.
So what it should be is you're obligated to finish your season and then you can move on. But this being able to poach coaches during the year, and then, you know, before you had transfer portal stuff, you could get kids off the team before the playoffs started. Like, all of that is completely asinine. So make it more like the NFL. You're already paying players. You're doing everything the pro league does at this point anyway. So why don't you also implement that where there's a no tampering policy till your team's season is over? Because then you don't end up with situations where these kids are just hosed. They're having a great year. Your whole coaching staff bails, and you're just like, well, I hope we can do something.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah,
a little bit of frustration. That being said, that does get us to the top of the hour. We appreciate everybody playing along. Be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our content to you. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow. Welcome back, everybody.
Hell yeah. Let's go, Bobby.